Convention badges are mementos. They are like the perfect souvenir you take home from the convention. It's usually included with the price of admission. As you go to more and more conventions over the years, you get some pretty crazy ones. Obviously, I have a lot of BronyCon ones, but in addition to the badges themselves are the various things you might attach to a badge. And we're not just going to talk about the badges or the things attached to them or the stickers or the button pins or the various other stories and weird things you might find. Like, we're going to talk about why I blacked that out a little bit. For me, my challenge is to have a unique lanyard for each con I go to. And what I'm holding here is the pile of lanyards that are the spares. We're going to look at a unique lanyard for every badge I have. So I guess the gimmick here is I actually took the time to make a spreadsheet of every single convention badge. I'm not even sure why I did this, but I took the time to sort every convention badge by date of attendance, by the convention itself, obviously, and then we're going to have one more field we're going to fill out as we do this video. I took the time to catalog every single badge, and I plan to keep that updated as time goes on, as I attend more and more conventions. Why did I do this? I'm not entirely sure why I did this. I think it's mainly I want to keep a record of things. For example, just having these out on the table now, I gotta remember what lanyard this goes to, where this goes to, what was attached to this one. Now I have a pretty solid record of that, as well as, perhaps even more importantly, over the years it would be impossible to remember who gave me what or where I got what or why something has something. Why is there a hole punch on the BronyCon badge? If you watched my previous video, you already know. But that's not the only thing I have the Steam Deck today for. That's right, folks. We're gonna go gambling. Admit it, you didn't want me to go through the spreadsheet one by one. How boring would that be? No, we've got our wheel of categories here. I want you to take the time to pick your favorites. Choose your favorite badge, choose your favorite lanyard, your favorite button pin, badge ribbon, and attachment. Keep track of all those things, because at the end of this video, I'm gonna make a Frankenstein badge of all my favorite memories and artwork and all that sort of stuff. Let's get started with the wheel. So you might have noticed there's more than just conventions on here. I have a bonus wheel of other stuff I want to show off as well. But it looks like our first item will be... Is it going to go past HasCon? Oh, it might actually be the bonus wheel. Oh, I landed on BronyCon. So both those are exciting. It would have been fun to start with the bonus wheel that I can introduce. But no, we're starting with the OG. This is probably the best place to start. Not only because it was my first convention, but it's the place everybody knows about. All right, are you ready for this? Did you now see why I could make a whole video out of this topic? So obviously, first up, BronyCon 2012. My first convention, and for a lot of people, it was basically the first pony convention. I'm aware there were previous generation conventions. BronyCon actually had a smaller event before this one, but this is the big one that thousands of people went to. So as I mentioned in my previous video of this format, that little hole punch is indeed for one of the promo cards from the Enterplay booth. I like the BronyCon 2012 badge design. There's something very charming and nostalgic about it. You'll see later on, all the later badges kind of blend together, but this very stark purple and black color scheme, I actually kind of dig it, and you get the color of the rainbow with Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash was like the Brony icon back in the day. She was like our mascot before Derpy was. I actually have some remains of an autograph back here. The Living Tombstone's autograph. The lanyard is just the basic generic black one it came with. I mentioned that because as you can see, we're going to get to other lanyards soon. Moving on to 2013, this one also has a hole punch, and I couldn't right away figure out why. It must also be related to Enterplay, it's my guess. It pains me to go through my old convention vlogs just because of how awkward and cringy they are, but hey, maybe one of you remember what I got that for. I don't remember. This is where they upgraded to a label maker, which, you know, it's functional. I'm not a big fan of how it covers the artwork. That's one of the details we'll pay attention to in later badges of how both other BronyCon badges and other conventions handle that. Nothing on the reverse of this one. And this is special because this is the first time I have a custom lanyard. This is not the lanyard they gave you at the convention. Maybe I got it from a vendor. It'd be really cool if it was from a vendor, but that's the sort of thing like, hey, if you're that vendor, comment below. I want to put it in the spreadsheet. This is significant as the first custom lanyard because every single convention badge, not just BronyCon, but every convention badge I aim to have a custom lanyard on. That brings us to 2014. And as you can see, unfortunately, these badges are sun-bleached.
The sun is a deadly laser.
I had previously left the badges hanging in my window, and that was a very, very bad idea. Consider this a PSA. If you have anything of importance, any collectibles or badges or whatever, hanging in front of a window, don't do that. And I learned that lesson the hard way, as you can see here. This might be the first badge that actually has something written on the back, actually. Yeah, here's 2013, nothing on the back of that one. So that's a cool evolution of badges that already they're starting to use both sides and put the rules and information back there. Now, this lanyard's pretty special. This is not a handmade custom one that I probably got from a vendor. I might have gotten it from a vendor, but this is pretty clearly a licensed lanyard. And like I mentioned earlier, Rainbow Dash was kind of our mascot in the early days. And as you can see, it says Brony, Brony, Brony. What a time to be a pony fan back when we had like official Brony merch. So not only is this licensed, it's I believe the tag's right here. Yeah, copyright 2013. This is one of the fancy badges that has a breakaway clip. So this is like if you step into an elevator and your badge gets stuck in the doors, you don't get hung. It just breaks off. It's designed like that on purpose for that reason. And in addition to the breakaway, there's actually a removable clip here. So already we've seen some progression of how the badges evolved, how my lanyards have evolved. So next up would be 2015. Now this one's already special. Got a panelist badge ribbon on this one. This was my first time not only being on a panel, but actually being in front of a large crowd at all. That was very nerve-wracking. I can't bring myself to look back at that footage. It's too awkward. It's too cringy for me. Both BronyCon and every other pony convention I've been to, I vlog, so you can go check out my videos on that if you want to see all that. This is like the typical lanyard I associate with BronyCon, although they did have multiple designs, which we'll probably look at later. Shout out to AC Race Best for inviting me to Brony's React so many years. I want to point out that I haven't been to Brony's React panels recently, out of my own desire not to be on a stage. He still was inviting me to those panels. It's not like he cut me loose or something like that. I've just decided I enjoy conventions better when I'm not worrying about being on a panel. That brings us to 2016, where we get a little bit more colorful, more badges, more attachments, and button pins and all that good stuff. Not only was I invited as a panelist again, but we have something special here. This is the first meme badge ribbon. Why is that special? Well, you probably saw at the beginning of the video. Badge ribbons kind of became a big deal later at other conventions. This was a badge ribbon made by Nickney. So let's look at some of the attachments, then we'll look at the lanyard. Jennay, I believe that's how you say her name. Jennay, like a horse neigh, made this artwork for me. Very, very nice. And so begins the button pin saga. This button right here, I believe, was just a generic button from BronyCon, but I think it might have actually come with this little luggage tag attachment. This was a prize for doing their scavenger hunt. Obviously, that's my OC with the Cinemare Sins reference. I really appreciate this, even if I don't remember all those years ago who gave it to me. But like, that's the sort of thing I want to hear from you in the comments if that was you. I want to update my spreadsheet with all these names and credits. Oh no, I just remembered something. My plan was to go through one badge at a time and add a new field. So let's go back to BronyCon 2012 and update that. We're going to document the most important field on the spreadsheet of all. The weight. This might make more sense as time goes on, but the actual weight of a badge could be a good indicator of like how crazy we went that year. 10 grams for BronyCon 2012, 16 for BronyCon 2013, 24. Okay, BronyCon 2015. We're at 66 for BronyCon 2016. All right, back to a new badge. BronyCon 2017, another very special BronyCon badge for lots of reasons. So, beginning with the badge itself, it's got this kind of rubber hose design. I think that was the theme of that year. Very special to have a panelist badge, and then also anthologist. Ponies the Anthology is an event. It's such a big deal when they premiere a new one at a pony convention. Just look at how crazy and huge a BronyCon anthology screening is. So I'm sure this is a reference to something, and I'll be honest, I don't know what it is. But no, this is a little anthology art badge, I guess you could call it. That was something just for people who contributed to Ponies Anthology, along with the ribbon, obviously. They also had this little pin you could put on whatever you want, and obviously I put on my lanyard here. PMVs are friends of mine. This is going to be a recurring joke you'll see on later badges as well. I think these button pins might actually be licensed. At least this one is, because it says copyright 2017, Hasbro Interplay on it. Got some artwork here. Derpy and Applejack look like they're probably from the same artist. It says BronyCon hearts this cosplay. I didn't wear a cosplay, so I'm guessing they just had a bunch of these they were giving out. But the lanyard itself also came with a little rubber Fluttershy here. This is also one of the nicer licensed ones that has a clip to make your badge removable. No breakaway though, so if you get stuck in the elevator with this one, you're just done for. But I mean, look at this design on the lanyard. Not only is it the main 6, but you got Derpy right there in the middle. I like this relatively simple gradient design with the ponies. The spreadsheet would not be complete without some kind of measurement. So that actually ties it with the previous badge. That brings us to BronyCon 2018. It's hard to find the badge in all this. There it is. So once again, starting with the badge itself, another panelist ribbon. On the back, you get the usual rules and stuff, but hey, a random Fluttershy sticker. Like, I don't remember where the Fluttershy came from, but if that was from you, I want to know and put it in the spreadsheet. These are probably from the same vendor and probably both gifts from someone. I don't think I would have bought this myself. I am not horse famous. This confirms it. This is my ID. Just as authoritative as that is, we also have Derpy as best pony right here, obviously. Other attachments include a Dusty Cat. I kind of love Kim Possible a lot there. Let's not get into that. And we have a Derpy here. I'm not sure where this Derpy came from. Material is on the inside under the plastic. It's like rusting from the inside or something. I don't know what that is. I hope this Derpy isn't like a petri dish for the next major pandemic or something. And then we have the lanyard, also a sort of similar to the previous one gradient of the main 6, except we have a vinyl scratch in there. Wait, is it just vinyl scratch? It's not even the main 6. No, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, it didn't. second. I was gonna say, did they replace Applejack with Vinyl Scratch? But no, there's multiple missing ponies. There's no Fluttershy on here either. That is not official brand approved use of the logo, I'm sure. But speaking of official use, this is indeed a licensed lanyard. Let's see if we can get the year on here. Copyright 2016. This is also a good quality licensed lanyard that has the clip to remove the badge and then also a breakaway, so you're not dying in the elevator this time. I'm willing to bet this is gonna be the highest one so far. No way. I don't believe it. That's gonna settle out, right? That is 366 grams in a row. All right, well, it's official. I got 66 written down for the past 3 BronyCon badges. Of course, that was 2018, and as many of you know, 2019 was the last BronyCon, the 4-day badge. Let's get right to the attachments, like this wonderful art of my OC. Unfortunately, this is unsigned, so I'm not quite sure who this was, and I probably could dig through the vlog to try to find out. But yeah, shout out to whoever gave me this, and if it was you, let me know so I can write your name down. All right, this might be a difficult one to go through, and I already know this is going to have the weight record. We got another Ponies the Anthology item here. This is like a corporate kind of badge where Nervash had me send over an image of my choice. So of course I chose not only Derpy, but you might have seen this image around. Basically the only thing in my life I've ever drawn. There's another art badge. I believe this is from a vendor, and I think somebody bought this at the vendor and then gifted it to me. That's my guess. So thank you, Fiery L. Oopsie. Speaking of oopsie, I just poked myself. Maybe I should have some band-aids ready. That's not even going back in. That could be a problem. Man, there's so much on this one that I actually didn't even see this Derpy at first. This one's not signed, but obviously it's by Skiggles. I'm just guessing this was purchased at a vendor and given to me by someone. It's also possible I just bought this one myself because this is the sort of thing I would buy myself. Let's try to look at the button pins quick before they poke me again. So at the bottom here, we got a BronyCon mascot. So I'm guessing the BronyCon ones were in like their loot box or their mystery box or something. We got a cute little Fluttershy. Oh, this one. Where do I begin with this one? This is not actually Fluttershy. This is an AI generated pony. Back when that was a cool thing, okay? Take my word for it. Back in 2019, this AI stuff wasn't a thing, okay? Try to put yourself in my shoes at the time. Today, you would just call this slop. Anybody can generate a pony like this on ChatGPT or whatever. It's not like worthwhile. It's not impressive or important. It has no value compared to like actual art, right? I agree with all that sentiment. But at the time, this was a technological innovation that was beyond my comprehension. Like I didn't think it was possible to generate ponies. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So a vendor at BronyCon was actually selling live generated button pins of AI ponies. And again, I promise you, back then it was a cool concept. Like, don't do a witch hunt on this vendor. They were openly selling it. That was the whole gimmick. So I know AI is a sour topic today, but this genuinely has sentimental importance to me. So much technological innovation and like major changes in society start with communities like our own. If you're really deep into a community like Bronies, you're going to find out about AI through us before you find about like ChatGPT, for example. This predates ChatGPT. There are other examples I can't think of right now, but there's so many things and opportunities and innovations that happen within a small niche community like our own that then take over the world. You know, quick tangent, but like the YOLO model, the model that recognizes objects in a video or image, that was created by a Brony. Not just any Brony, but actually the Brony who made that viral resume that you might have seen in like cringe compilations or on Reddit or something. Like the guy who made this resume went on to create this image recognition software that like is used by everyone. All right, let's move on from the AI pony. Drink the water. Do it. Drink the water. Another BronyCon mascot right there. Another BronyCon mascot. Oh, cute little Derpy. Another Derpy. Anthology 7 actually had this little pin. We tried. I think that's a funny connection there. BronyCon 2016, BronyCon 2019, and the meme lives on. All right, that brings us to the lanyard itself. This lanyard is probably the most special lanyard. Not only is a quality licensed one, I was trying to look for a year, so I don't know what year it was licensed, but it's also one of the breakaway ones. And come on, you can't beat that design. It's just a loop of Derpy. Doesn't get any better than that. This was actually a gift/trade from Nora Mermaid. Nora Mermaid was looking for, I believe it was a collectible pin of some kind that I happened to have one. And in return, she gave me this lanyard. So shout out to Nora Mermaid for that. Again, I think this is my favorite lanyard of the bunch. So if you're playing at home choosing favorites, I think this lanyard wins for me at least. Finally, we broke the 66 streak. Well, look at that. My desk is empty. That means it's time to bring the wheel back. So now we have higher odds of landing on a bonus. Let's go ahead and give it a spin. Honestly, some of these badges are like single badges from one convention. Others are like a large collection like BronyCon. So I'm really curious what's going to be next. PhillyCon or bonus? Oh, it's close. It's PhillyCon. All right, this will be a quick one. I only have one PhillyCon badge. So there we go, my lone PhillyCon badge. PhillyCon's a weird convention, and as you can see, I only went for one day on Saturday. This was a convention that was relatively close within driving distance to me, so I just got dropped off for the day and I left the same day. But my experience at PhillyCon was I met with like a couple friends, and then we just hung out in one panel for 3 hours, and I went home. So not an amazing experience, but definitely a unique and silly one. As for the badge itself, I actually like the PhillyCon badge. I kind of appreciate the central, simple placement of just one mascot in the middle with a nice design around it. I'm not quite sure what the purpose was, but they got holographic stickers. The con book is required reading. There will be a test. I do not recall that test. Maybe that test is still yet to come. So yeah, I just kept the simple lanyard that they gave me. Nothing too crazy here, but a custom lanyard from the convention is appreciated. All right, PhillyCon. Something tells me this isn't going to break any records. Just a hunch. All right, I think it settled down to 18 grams. All right, the wheel's back. Oh, it's looking like TrotCon or HarmonyCon. No way, it's just gonna barely, and there it goes, inched into HarmonyCon. HarmonyCon is special. That's one of my like current day go-to conventions, so I have a few of those to show off. Let's get going. All right. Not as many as BronyCon, but still a good number of HarmonyCon badges here. Let's start with the very first one here, if I can dig it out of the pile. It doesn't actually say it, but oh, there, I put my own label on here. This is HarmonyCon 2020, the very cursed year of pony conventions that didn't exist, but HarmonyCon still happened. HarmonyCon was like about a month, maybe even less than a month before the world shut down due to COVID-19. You know, this is the year after BronyCon ended. Keep that in mind. So BronyCon ended. And up to this point, BronyCon is the only convention I had really traveled to besides the one-day conventions like PhillyCon. So after BronyCon ended, I committed to going to multiple conventions this year. I was going to do HarmonyCon, I was going to do Everfree and BabsCon, I was going to go to all of the conventions in 2020. And well, I mean, I'm glad I made that commitment because at least then I got to go to HarmonyCon, but you know, then everything else shut down for obvious reasons. This badge is also pretty significant. This is the only badge of its type where I think this is a normal badge printer. Kind of like the IDs you would use at a corporate workplace or something, for example. And the benefit of that is that it's actually, my name is printed on there. That's not a label. They actually had custom ID badges made for every single attendee, which is super impressive, and I can imagine why they didn't continue doing that. Probably got very expensive and time-consuming. I'm guessing these are the comic book cutouts by Hibiscus Stitch. I don't actually know if they are from Hibiscus Stitch or not, but these look like the sort of cutouts you see in her button pins. And I got a pin from the National Video Game Museum. Not pony-related, but certainly attached to lots of pony memories, because we would go there as a bunch of friends. It was really fun to storm the museum together. The lanyard itself, as you can see, another instance of the dark Rainbow Dash design, which was like super popular back then. This was sort of Hasbro's way of appealing to the Brony demographic. It came with this little rubber cutout of Dashie. I like this design. Not only is it nostalgic, but I just think it looks cool. So this is another licensed one. This is licensed copyright 2016. Again, it's detachable and won't kill you in an elevator. This one's got a little bit of heft to it. It's not going to break any records, I don't think. All right, it's holding steady at 48. And here we're skipping a year to HarmonyCon 2022. I'm still salty about how they applied my label. At least it's a transparent label, which is nice, but I'm salty about it being offset. Now this is a panelist badge. Wait, why do I have a panelist badge? I don't remember if this was the year I did a panel with Tootsie or something else. I mean, I'm looking at a future year right here. I have 2 HarmonyCon panelist badges. I don't even remember why. But yeah, this is a panelist badge from HarmonyCon, so this is probably a different design than most others got. Attached is some badge art. Obviously more button pins. Official pin here. Oh, I almost forgot this giant button pin, also from HarmonyCon 2022. The lanyard itself is kind of the Brady Bunch or Ticketmaster design. Now this is copyright 2014, so this is an older badge that I wore much later. This one does not have the clip, but it does have the breakaway. Yeah, I'm gonna call it right there, 76 grams. That brings us to 2023. Oh, this one's interesting. So I actually have 2 badges from 2023. There's this Show Pony badge, which is just like their low-tier sponsor badge. And then I'm also have a panelist badge on the reverse side here. I vaguely remember them asking like, oh, you have 2 badges. And I was like, yeah, give me 2 badges. I would love to have 2 badges. It's twice the number of souvenirs. So then attachments. We're starting off here strong with a derpy acrylic keychain. I like this a lot. Starting here, we got Studio Cinemagic. Shout out to Cold Honor Stag, making some of the most unique and most particle-heavy PMVs out there. And this looks like an official pin from HarmonyCon 2023. So this was probably included as part of the Show Pony / sponsor thing. Other side is the return of PMVs are friends of mine. I think this is a reproduction. The one you saw in BronyCon was like the original. This is a reproduction probably from Sonic Crew, if I remember correctly. And then My Little Millionaire. If you haven't heard of this, come on, you're missing out. Bobby Sees puts on an amazing show for My Little Millionaire. It's a huge production. It's probably the biggest panel of any panel at any convention possibly. And now the lanyard itself. I like this kind of pastel purpley color. It's kind of pretty. You get the convention mascots kind of floating in bubbles there. Wait, I just noticed. There's something written on the side of this button pin. This might be hard to see on camera, so I'll just read it. You are one of us now. This pin automatically makes you part of the PMV community and will obey the gods of PMVs. One of us. One of Us. I don't think I knew that was there. I agreed to the terms of service without knowing it. 78 grams. On to 2024. This is also a show pony badge, so I'm not sure if the art's different or not, but it says show pony right there. I mean, not to be cruel, but like HarmonyCon, why are all your badges like offset? Maybe we'll notice that in other badges, but I feel like HarmonyCon's had like the messiest label placement so far. I mean, I kid. HarmonyCon's probably my current favorite convention. This was from Scooter Trick Studios. He did a panel about the Made for Kids drama on YouTube. For those unaware, I also made a video about what's going on with the Made for Kids situation. If you're not aware of it at all, I highly recommend you check out my video. So if you're interested in being depressed today, go ahead and check out my video. Attached to the lanyard, I got this little, what appears to be a 3D printed balloon, part of Pinkie Pie's cutie mark, no doubt. Another HarmonyCon pin, kind of a cool thing to include. HarmonyCon's kind of been my go-to to get a sponsor badge at, just a low-tier sponsor badge, so I'm guessing these pins are included with that. That's why I have them. But then there's this little acrylic pin of Best Pony. There's another plug. You might recognize the pixel design from r/place. I got videos on that too. Badge art of Best Pony. And this, of course, does say, Too Little Shy, Derp, Enjoy from Joe P. Cool. This one's actually really nice. It has a tether on it. As for the lanyard itself, if I can organize this thing, the more things that get on there, the harder it is to like flatten it. But you can see HarmonyCon 2024, a branded lanyard. Again, presumably for being a sponsor. But nobody cares about the art and badge and ribbons and collectibles and mementos and memories. What we really care about is how many grams it is. 66 grams. That brings us to the last one for now. So HarmonyCon obviously is one of the conventions I'm still actively attending. So by the time some of you see this video, I'll probably have a 2026 badge. This is also their low tier sponsor badge. It's called Mary Poppins. And this is where the badge ribbons are starting to get a little bit crazy. But before we get to the badge ribbons, so I was just walking around with this big pole with a camera on the end, and it kind of gained a lot of attention. And it gave me the nickname from my friend Nickney, the wielder of the staff of 360. He used a like kind of old fashioned like manual label maker for this, and he was punching these out for a bunch of people. All right, back to the badge ribbons. Pony Frame Expert. If you've watched the vlogs or seen his videos, you might have seen that. It's basically Pony Guesser, the panel. Muffin Gang, you might recognize that one. That's also from Joe P. Cool. Somebody had like blank as best pony, so I just commandeered that to imply that Derpy is best pony, of course. And then Hail Hydrate. We got a Poner plushie candy bracelet. Savannah made these adorable little Poner plush bracelets. They even have printed stickers of plushies on them. So not only does it say plushies on it, it actually has plushies on it. I think that's really cool. I believe this was from a mystery bag, but I could be misremembering. We got this little Celestia. Very, very shiny. Another HarmonyCon pin right here. But then we move on to the button pins. Cute little Chibi, Derpy, and Luna. These are my two Tabitha pins, I guess. Above that, we got a Chrysalis acrylic pin. This might be the most special lanyard I own. So it is a licensed lanyard. As you can see, it's got this rather large rubber cutout of Rainbow Dash, but this is part of the lanyard. It's not just a keychain. On one side you have normal Dash, other side you have that classic black design. So on the black design, with Rainbow Dash's cutie mark obviously, and then on the reverse side, you get normal Rainbow Dash with her Sonic, well, it's not quite the Sonic Rainbow, but with her Rainbow Trail. That is such a cool idea for a lanyard. Halfway through the convention, I would flip my lanyard over, and I got to like wear two completely different lanyards. Unfortunately, it does not have a breakaway and does not have a clip. All right, surely this one's gonna have some heft to it. All right, we're gonna call it 92. So if you're following along at home, that brings this, this puts it up to second place for weight, behind only BronyCon 2019. My desk is once again empty. That means it's time to bring the wheel out. It'd be nice to have like a single badge, because we went through BronyCon and Everfree. Oh, is it gonna land on Bone? Oh, wait, I said Everfree by mistake just now. It must have heard me. All right, let's go through Everfree. That's really funny. I misspoke and said Everfree when I meant to say HarmonyCon. But no, now we are doing Everfree. Not only is this my first Everfree, but I was a special guest at Everfree 2021. Because it was 2021, conventions were kind of freaking out. There were people they just couldn't get for the convention. So I was one of the many people they reached out to, maybe out of slight desperation to get some guests. So this is my only special guest badge, because I do not usually apply to become a special guest. I get stage fright. I don't want to be on stage. I don't want to talk to 100 people in the audience.
I can't go on stage. I don't want every pony looking at me.
But no, I am extremely grateful to Everfree for inviting me this year. Not only my first Everfree, but my first and only special guest badge or status of all time. And we have an appropriately special lanyard for this one. I mean, I'm kind of overlooking Applejack. I've been looking at button pins first, haven't I? Again, looks like a comic book Applejack. As my guess, it's probably from Hibiscus Stitch or another vendor doing something similar. Now, let's get to the real show here, though. It's Derpy. Look at this awesome Derpy ribbon. Look how cool this pony is. This is a great lanyard. I like the design of that other one from BronyCon that Nora Mermaid gave me, just because it had that darker color scheme. But as far as lighter, more pastel colors go, this is also a strong contender for my favorite. Yeah, let's call it 34. So we got this nice Everfree branded lanyard, a whole bunch of button pins. Wait, did I pause or unpause just now? Moving on, Everfree 2023. Another Everfree lanyard. I like this design a lot. Again, I kind of like darker colors for a lanyard. I don't really want a bright, attention-grabbing lanyard. I like this design more, actually. Got their mascots on this side. And one lone little button pin. The smallest button pin I've ever seen. Spaghetti noodles. I predict 25 grams. Oh, man. Oh, wait, what? Here we are at 2024. The badge itself, still a patron badge. And we got Pro Derp on the back. The Not Made for Kids returns, because he did another panel that I had attended there. I think this is the first we've seen in this video, maybe not quite chronological order by year, but the first of the Plushaholics badge ribbons. This is their cool holographic rainbow design. A panel which sort of had a brief presentation from a couple of presenters, including Ruby Wolf, I believe was the host of it. Most of that panel was just people in the audience talking about their plushies. Kind of a show and tell, kind of like what I'm doing today. And below that, we get the Flutter Cult. Flutter Cult was an oddly big deal back then. I don't know where it is today, but like, you know, it had a pretty big Discord server. They would have their own meetups at conventions, and of course we have horse. So another badge art to include. Meg the person, I believe I'm saying that right. How is Derpy holding that glass? Got Megan? And the lanyard itself, another convention lanyard, which I'm grateful for because I'm kind of running out of lanyards. This is actually specifically branded Everfree Northwest 2024. That makes the lanyard all that more special. Pretty sure, I mean, just judging by the lanyard, it looks like that was their comic book theme. 42 grams. That brings us to the last Everfree badge for now, 2015. Just like HarmonyCon, Everfree is also one of the big priorities for me. Like Everfree and HarmonyCon are my two go-to pony conventions at the moment. Who knows how things will change in the future? Maybe I'll go to more, maybe I'll go to less. But yeah, for now, as of this recording, this is my last Everfree badge. So starting with the badge itself, it got a mare stare off the free table. I love this. For being like a smaller sticker, I actually think that's more novel and more funny to leave a bunch of tiny little stickers around, as opposed to like a large sticker like Starlight Glimmer here. Not that I don't like Starlight Glimmer or her sticker, but that's so novel. This might be the only sticker of that size I own. So we've got number one male pony, because she is, and then two plushie ribbons. Proud owner of an emotional support plush, and another certified plushaholic ribbon. Going on to attachments, we got more candy bracelets, and one big button pin of this royal guard, who I'm told was from a fan fiction, and he's actually a changeling. That brings us to the classic Brony lanyard, which you might actually struggle to see here, huh? I don't know if that helps. It probably doesn't help at all. But no, this is the classic dark rainbow dash design with Brony written on it. This better have a year. This feels like 2013. Yeah, there it is right there. Copyright 2013. But yeah, this lanyard came with a little rainbow dash rubber cutout. It does not have the clip, but it does have the elevator saver. My desk is empty. It's time to bring out the wheel. Let's go gambling. I don't think we've hit a single bonus wheel yet, so I'm hoping for a bonus this time. We only have bonuses and single year cons left. Oh, that's looking like a bonus, unless it inches over to HasCon. That was close, but it's a bonus wheel. What the heck is a bonus wheel, you're asking? Well, obviously, it's another wheel. What'd you expect? So let's give this one a spin, and then we'll see where it takes us. I really expected these bonuses to be more spaced out evenly, but oh, it crossed over with him. What does with him mean? Well, these are my dad's badges. You can barely see it because, again, this was written on by Sharpie, but I'm with him 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. We're skipping to 2018, then 2019. I have my dad's badge and my sister's badge. These are fun badges I just wanted to show off real quick. I think the streak is very impressive. I'm very grateful to my dad for taking me to all these BronyCons. All right, that brings us back to the wheel. And like I said, we already went through the major conventions where I had a lot of badges. We're going to knock these out pretty quick, I think. I'm going to guess it's going to land on bonus because we have so many bonuses left. We got to land on them now. Oh, it has Connor bonus. Oh, it's going to be bonus. I know it. Yeah, it's bonus wheel. These were meant to be spaced out randomly, but I guess the RNG has just chosen us to do it this way. It's looking like hotel key cards, which are kind of self-explanatory, but let's check them out quick. I've been to two conventions that had custom hotel key cards. Everfree 2024. I think it's possible, if I'm remembering correctly, that 2025 might have had the 2024 card. I don't think these have years on them. Maybe some BronyCon aficionados out there can recollect which years these are from. Got this steampunk theme. We've got your key to friendship. That's adorable. BronyCon, what are you doing? That is not something you should be encouraging at the hotel. Hold on, no, this is a reference to something, isn't it? I'm not confident enough to say what, but maybe you know. BronyCon with the boombox. So yeah, hotel keys are a lot of fun. I wish more cons did that. I assume it's expensive and that's why they don't do it all the time. But yeah, I always appreciate when cons do that. Back to the wheel. We still got two bonus spaces left. It's looking like derpy. Oh, I could inch over to bonus. That's a close one. I think it's DerpyCon. Contrary to the name, this was not actually a convention about Derpy. I know, right? Sad. DerpyCon had some Derpy branding, but you can see by this badge, it's not even pony related at all. DerpyCon was more of a multi-genre convention. I think its origins did involve ponies, and they kind of transitioned to anime and other geek stuff. It was close enough to drive to, and I just went for one day only, like PhillyCon. So I had a lot of fun at DerpyCon, seeing friends. I met up with some other bronies, and we just kind of hung out together. But my memory of DerpyCon wasn't great. The first impression was my full legal name written out right here, and I was like, does that need to be there? I expressed my concerns about privacy, and I was told, no, you need to show your full legal name at all times for insurance reasons. And having been to all those BronyCons and other conventions, this was the first time I encountered that, and I was like, really? All right. But yeah, no, DerpyCon, I don't know a lot about it. I only went for one day. I can't speak to it as a whole. But like, what even is this thing? Seriously, if you know what this is this a character or a mascot? Leave a comment, because I don't know. I kind of went as an obligatory thing. A convention called DerpyCon, I had to go to at least once, right? It was mostly anime and internet geek stuff, which again is cool. I would love to go. I can't really prioritize that over pony conventions is all. Very generic lanyard. I didn't bother taking a very special lanyard here because I knew it wasn't really a pony convention. Didn't want to use up my pony lanyards on a convention like this. But yeah, overall, I had a good time at DerpyCon, mainly because of the friends I hung out with that day. Uh-oh, guys, I need to apologize. My wheel is lacking a convention. I forgot Winnie City PonyCon. So Winnie City PonyCon, I've only been to the one, 2024 here. So it's not on the wheel, but I'm going to go ahead and look at this now. They do a thing where your initials are in the bottom left here. So this is a similar complaint to what I had with DerpyCon. I don't like that at all. That makes me very uncomfortable. So I just cover that up or cut it out or whatever. On all the Ciderfest convention badges you'll see later, I do that as well. Wait a minute. Ciderfest. I'm lacking Ciderfest and Winnie City. I am so sorry. But yeah, I got my Happy Camper sticker. This was just a random generic sticker they had lying around. I don't know if that was associated with an event or something, but I just saw it laying on a table and I threw it on here because I thought it was cool. Their theme that year, as you can see, was summer camp. I also met up with Joe, also known as Formula Pony there. He gave me the Sweet Apple Admirer. Cole Donnerstag's PMV series is about Memoria, so that's where that's from. It's always Ticketmaster, also from Formula Pony. And yet another Plushaholics badge ribbon. I love how Rubio Wolf went out of their way to like have unique badge ribbons at each event. And then who could forget Horse, giant button pins on this one, a nice big Derpy, and somebody giving out free Fluttershy's to promote their Fan Game Factory Facebook page. So yeah, custom lanyard on this one, Winnie City 2024. I like that a lot. This is a much bigger, thicker kind of lanyard, also kind of unusual to see. This is a really nice convention lanyard. I'm going to predict 45 grams for this one. All right, now it's 54. I was way off. I was like 10 grams off. I made the horrible mistake of neglecting to put 3 conventions on here. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I could have possibly forgotten. So let's get back on track here with a proper wheel spin. So now we got some more options to offset all those bonuses I gotta fill out eventually. I think they're still gonna all be at the end of the video, so stay tuned for those. We're gonna look at... Is that HasCon? HasCon is probably one of the weirdest badges I have. It will haunt your nightmares. This might be the first time where a gifted art badge takes so much more priority and space over the badge itself. This was from a friend who now goes by Pepper, and that's their original art printed out onto a badge, and I really appreciate this. Getting back to HasCon specifically, if you can somehow take your mind off of how creepy this Play-Doh dude is, this was the first and only Hasbro convention as far as I know, back in 2017. This is another event where I went to for only one day, just because it was within driving distance and I couldn't commit the money to a hotel stay, for example. Maybe this is standard for like corporate events, but I've never seen a badge design that folds out like this. So like that's my name right there. At least HasCon has the decency to hide your name. This is my consent to be photographed, apparently. Who knows what I could have agreed to just by wearing this badge. A place where they're keeping track of exclusives on this side. It's really hard to see, but I see like some Marvel stuff. As you can see, I have 2 checked off next to what looks like MLP. I got 2 things checked off by MLP because I got 2 of their mystery boxes for ponies. So you're probably wondering, why did I cover up this square? Well, this was a QR code. I remember the day before the convention, I was kind of scoping out HasCon, and out of curiosity, I found a photo of someone else at the convention on Friday, and I got curious. Where does that QR code go? Well, it turns out that QR code is your password to log into your portal for your attendance. So I don't know what they would have let me do with that information, but I actually did use someone else's QR code and log into their account. And it gave me the option to buy stuff. Now, I'm not accusing Hasbro of doing anything wrong here. Maybe it would have asked for a password or email confirmation or something. But just the fact I could see someone else's account and potentially add expensive tickets and items to their badge, that made me a little bit nervous. So you could say I hacked HasCon. No, obviously. I'm mostly joking. Again, I'm assuming they would have had some kind of authentication. I did not push it that far to find out. I didn't want to do anything wrong, obviously. Let's get this attached back on and look at the lanyard. So props to HasCon. They had unique lanyards. Kind of a simple design. Again, I kind of like the darker black lanyard design. Just like some of the previous conventions I mentioned that only went for one day, it was really the friends who made it a good event, you know, hanging out with Pepper, and I think we saw a couple other friends there. Ranger Red Star was also there. On our way out while leaving HasCon, they had, I kid you not, pallets full of these HasCon branded Play-Dohs. Pallets and piles and piles and tablefuls of HasCon Play-Doh. There was a very nice woman there who I assume worked for Hasbro or the event, begging us to take some HasCon Play-Doh. Nobody wanted the HasCon Play-Doh, and I don't know why, because it is kind of a fun novelty. This is probably one of the most unique collectibles I own. All right, let's bring the new corrected wheel back out. This should have everyone on it now, so let's get going. So we've gone through all the conventions that had a whole bunch of badges. I think these are all single, oh no, except for Ciderfest, which, hey, it might land there. Yeah, it's looking like we're looking at Ciderfest. So again, as of recording, I've only been to 2 Ciderfests, so let's check out those badges. See if you can catch the running theme for Ciderfest. Do you see it? This would be 2024 right here. I also got another label from Nickney. Instead of Little Shy, I'm large and bold now. And I think that was meant to, like, you know, have that sentimental impact of like, yeah, Little Shy's going to conventions all by himself now. I'm no longer Little Shy. I am large bold. And that was a nice thing for him to do. Again, these conventions dox your initials down here, so we keep that covered. You can see on both of them. Let's address the elephant, or rather muffin, in the room. So Formula Pony, also known as Joe P. Cool, also known as Joe. He brought the Muffin Gang ribbons. I love how he had 2 different colors. Ponyville Ciderfest had these first-time attendee ribbons, which, again, this was my first Ciderfest, so I had to get that. And then I just loaded it up with as many Muffin Gang ribbons as Formula Pony would give me. This was also one of his ribbons. It's always Ticketmaster, is a bit of an inside joke for the Pony Guesser stuff. Brobyville Cosmic Brownie Ciderfest. Oh, no. Brobyville Comics... Brobyville Cosmic Brownie Fest. And as you can see, potentially one of the most special Plushaholic ribbons, a see-through Plushaholics and Proud of It ribbon. I had to manage my badge ribbons, so this one would be on last. That way no other ribbon would cover it up when I stack them like this, you know? As for attachments, look who it is! It's the same derpy acrylic keychain from before. Then we got a Tri-Dashy Fluttershy. Would you call this a plushie? Sure, why not? This is a Fluttershy plushie that is badge-sized. Getting to the lanyard itself, we got a few button pins. Luna, Dashi, Twily, Zakora. So this lanyard is special because not only is it licensed, not only is it one of the higher quality ones with the breakaway and the clip and all that, but this is actually copyright 2020. This is a newer post-show licensed lanyard. I think that's really special. It comes out to $88. So that works out to be our 3rd heaviest so far, I think. And then, of course, the most recent 2025 one. Fun fact, I wasn't planning on going to Ponyville Ciderfest 2025 just for financial reasons. I wanted to attend, but it was one of the conventions I had to deprioritize just because of money. So I'm really grateful I was able to attend, not only because I had enough of the hotel points, the reward points saved up to attend the hotel for free. I didn't pay a cent for the hotel, but also my friend Coaster gave me a ride from a more affordable airport. So if it wasn't for the support of friends and the coincidence of having reward points, I wouldn't have been able to go to Ponyville Ciderfest. I'm so glad I did. I had a lot of fun. So this was the first year that I know of that actually officially endorsed badge ribbons as like a game. They actually had a contest to see who could get the most. Now, obviously, I wasn't going for any records with this one. You could watch my vlog for a more accurate number, but I think the record was over 100, maybe almost 200. This is nowhere near that, obviously, but this is probably a personal record. We got Brony. This is that classic design you see on those old shirts. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and 1 shower, all minimums, you know? I wub you. Get mugged. So Ponyville Ciderfest obviously has a cider themed, but when I think of this, I just think of the previous year my friend almost got mugged. This is Soggy Stitch. This is Hibiscus Stitch's OC. I think it's a reference to the time she vended at a convention, not a pony convention, but a convention where they had a pipe leak above her booth. I think that's the inside joke there. Look who it is. It's Horse. And then Amber Evergreen gave me this badge ribbon. And then we got this Anthology 8 ribbon, specifically for people who stood in line. That was a lot of fun. And then just below that, obviously, is the official Anthologist ribbon, which is kind of like your backstage pass to get into the room early. And then this is really cool. This is a photo from the day before. That is my Derpy plush right there. So yeah, watch the vlog for the whole story, but I actually wasn't able to attend this plush meetup. Not only am I grateful that my friend Formula Pony brought my Derpy to the plush meetup, but also, the next day when I was able to attend, I found this badge ribbon. And then just below that is one of the highly collectible Plushaholics Anonymous badge ribbon. Says plushies, plushies, plushies. We got a couple button pins in this one. We got Starlight and Fluttershy. So yeah, like I said earlier, I'm like starting to run out of lanyards. This was an old HarmonyCon one. So this would have been a HarmonyCon where I brought my own lanyard to wear instead and just had this as a spare. All right, I'm predicting 32 grams. No, I'm way off. Again, I keep getting off by almost 10. That brings us back to the wheel. So both of the remaining conventions are single badges. We'll fly through this pretty quick. It's the bonuses I'm excited to talk about. And look at that. We're landing on TROTCon. TROTCon's a pretty fun badge. This is a unique design, sort of vertical design. Derpy's not redacting anything in this case. She's just there to hang out. Formula Pony was at this convention as well, also to give me this badge ribbon. That's his OC right there, Cave Glider. And then there's this adorable little badge art. I was sort of ambushed by a couple friends from the Plushie server. And the joke is, I love Folex because it's so effective. It's a gentle cleaner that is very effective with plushies. So yeah, that's what my OC is holding right there, in case it's not obvious. I don't remember what lanyard they gave out at TROTCon, but I'm guessing it was a generic one, so I had to bring some custom one to keep the streak. And rather than burn a like harder to find retail lanyard or a licensed lanyard, I just grabbed a previous convention one, HarmonyCon 2025. I think it's mostly the Folex thing contributing, but there we are, 28 grams. The wheel's getting down to the wire here. We only have one convention left and then 2 bonus wheel spaces, but actually there's 3 bonus wheel items left, so we're gonna keep spinning until they're all cleared out. What do you think? Is it going to be a bonus wheel or that one remaining convention? I kind of hope it's the bonus wheel. It looks like it's going to be. Let's do a bonus spin. Let's see where the wheel takes us. Oh, I think it's going to pass Plushie Care Kit into LED badge. That was close. Yeah, we're on LED badge. So this entire time, I've actually been charging my go-to LED badge right here. Looks like it's fully charged. So this little LED badge is such a fun novelty. You can write whatever you want on here. You can have multiple entries. I would bring this to multiple conventions. This isn't an item where I would leave it on one lanyard. So the most recent one on here is Ciderfest. I just don't know what went wrong. So these LED badges, in addition to just wearing this one myself, over the years, I've actually done the math. I went back to my order history and found out that not including this one I wear myself, I have ordered and probably given out exactly 100 of these. Like 100, 100 even. I almost don't want to buy any more just to avoid breaking that nice even number. And on the back, I got my website here. It's just littleshyfam.com/B, B just short for badges. And that just told people how to get the app and how to change them, put whatever you want on them. I think it's funny how the vendors would be selling them for $20 or $30 and I could undercut that by selling them for $0 on the free table. Sorry, vendors. So we're going to get our last convention or a bonus wheel again? It's looking like bonus wheel. Oh, gee, will it be gray or blue? Who knows? It's going to be blue. I hope you're betting on blue. All right, we've got 2 items left on the bonus wheel. Yeah, and there it is, and here it is. I don't know if I've really had a chance to properly document this. I'd mention it in vlogs and stuff like that, and obviously the Discord server gets involved with this, but it's obviously plushie themed. This is like my Discord server for plushies and all that. Well, let's just open it up and I'll show you what's inside. Portable lint rollers and a refill for it. Microfiber cloth for, either cleaning the plush or cleaning a surface for your plush. Probably the most valuable and important thing here is Folex, like I was just talking about earlier. There's our mascot, Lavender Lark. This is artwork made by Penny, and once again, with the Folex. Shout out to Alabaster Radiance. He is a actual legitimate doctor who I assume uses these in his daily life, but this is a surgical scrub brush. Here's my own. The bristles in this thing are like kind of a rubber or a plastic, and it's the perfect consistency for minky fabric on a plushie. It's good for just shaping the nap of the fabric, or, obviously gentle scrubbing. You get some instructions on how to do a ladder stitch. You get some information about me and the kit itself. This is just one of the inside jokes from my own videos, and then this one's obviously for the plushie server. A tiny little sewing kit. There's a needle, some thread in there. This is nanotape. So this is like tape, but it doesn't use adhesive. Like, what a time to be alive that we have tape that acts more like gecko feet than it does adhesive. So this is included in the plushie care kit because it's very useful for sticking it on plushies for accessories or maybe even some repairs. And then related to sewing, there's a seam ripper inside of the kit. And then I'll try other goodies as well. Like here I have a squeaker. So if you're feeling brave, you can actually perform plushie surgery and put that in your plushie. Probably recommended only for mass-produced or cheaper plushies. Unless you're brave, then you can put it in whatever plushie you want. And then button pins and random other goodies. Oh yeah, and there's actually an NFC tag in here. So you can just tap that with your phone to scan the tag, which is just this blank white thing right here. And you can record or read whatever information you want on there. You could put that in your plushie. You could put it on your plushie's clothing. You could use it for identification purposes by locking the tag so nobody else can edit it. So this care kit, as you can see, actually branded for HarmonyCon 2026, which may have already happened by the time some of you see this, but if you're going to HarmonyCon and you land one of these plushie care kits, well, hey, look for this Fluttershy sticker. If you find this Fluttershy sticker, it means you got the kit I'm showing today. I'll get this cleaned up, and then it's time for another wheel spin. Let's see if it's going to be the last convention badge I have to show off, or the last bonus item I have to show off. Oh, I think it's going to hit PonyCon. That's a close one. Yeah, it's PonyCon. It is fitting in a weird, twisted way to talk about PonyCon, because for a video where I'm talking about convention badges, PonyCon didn't have convention badges. So, I've been planning to bring a unique lanyard to every convention, and then I was a little bit surprised when I got my badge, which isn't a badge. PonyCon had these little bracelets instead of badges. This is kind of a unique idea I haven't seen before. I don't know if it was a cost-cutting measure or just a novelty. I don't know what the story is. We got the PMVs are friends of mine again. So I guess this is the third one of these I have. Yes, I actually did wear it like this around my neck. I remember at the time feeling slightly salty that there wasn't a badge, because that's one of the collectibles I look forward to getting. But now, in hindsight, come on, this is much more unique of a collectible. The licensed lanyard comes out with the little cutout rainbow dash you can see here. This is another main 6 themed one that has all these shots of Ponyville and ponies in the foreground. Copyright 2014, so it's a pretty old one. I like this design on the inside of the lanyard, this cool purple look with all the abstract graphics of the cutie marks. So yeah, video's not over. There's one more bonus item to look at, but it is fitting that we end the video with a a badge that's not a badge at all. I mean, yeah, do we weigh it? Yeah, of course we're gonna weigh it. 30 grams. Gee, guys. What do you think we're going to land on? I hope it's a bonus wheel. Yeah, bonus wheel! So there is only one item left on the bonus wheel. And it is the pile of lanyards. I mean, come on, we got the classic BronyCon lanyards. These bright orange ones stand out immediately. And then some other generic ones, a yellow one, black one. I believe the green ones are probably Everfree. But then a couple other old BronyCon ones that aren't the bright orange type, both of which have the Enterplay sponsor. I don't know exactly what year these are from, but again, kind of relates back to my previous video where I talk about the Enterplay trading cards. Hey, but now, I haven't forgotten. Let's do the Frankenstein lanyard. Did you play along? Did you pick out your favorites? Here they all are. Every convention badge, lanyard, and attachment up until the recording of this video, obviously. There's a lot of great lanyards to choose from. I love the colorful ones and all the Brony-themed ones, but come on, I gotta go with this old original derpy one. Not only is it licensed and official and one of the higher quality lanyards, came with the little derpy cutout and everything, but like I mentioned, this was a gift/trade from Nora Mermaid, so I have all these nice memories attached to it. This is also the BronyCon 2019 lanyard, so I just spent 10 minutes removing everything from it because it was so loaded with stuff. But hey, now that I have a spreadsheet, I can know what goes back on it. Next up is badge ribbons. If I could choose more than one for this little gimmick I'm doing, I would probably go with all the Plushaholic badge ribbons. There are some really special ones there, and they're highly collectible and varied in style. I like them a lot. But if we're just choosing one, I'm going with Muffin Gang. So I have this little, I borrowed this from another badge. I'm going to stick this onto our Frankenstein. Next up, let's choose a button pin. Just one. There's a lot of button pins to choose. Obviously, I have fond memories of the comic ones that Hibiscus Stitch would cut out and sell at her booth, and she gave me a few for free. And I'm tempted to go with the AI Fluttershy. At the time, I probably would have went with the AI Fluttershy, but now it kind of seems like it might be in bad taste to go with that. So no, I'm not going to go with AI Fluttershy. I'm going to go with a button pin I haven't talked about yet. This is sort of cheating, but I actually removed this button pin at the time because it had so much sentimental value to me. This cute little derpy is a button pin I picked out with my sister in person at Vendor Hall. My sister and I went to Vendor Hall and we picked out 2 identical buttons. So she has the other derpy and I got this one. Maybe that's cheating, maybe I'm breaking my own rules, but this is the button pin I'm going with for the Frankenstein badge. As for a art badge or other miscellaneous attachment, I'm tempted by, I don't know where it is, but I am tempted by the other candy bracelet that was given to me by Savannah. That was a very nice personal item that I have fond memories of from the plush meetup and all that good stuff. Instead of the candy bracelet, I am going to go with the I Love Folex art badge. Come on, look at it. This is my pick for the Frankenstein badge. All right, I've been going through this pile looking for it, but that leaves one more badge. I could pick a badge based on how unique and weird it is, like the HasCon badge. I'm looking for the Everfree one because I only have one Everfree special guest badge. That's in here somewhere, I'm sure. But come on, think about it for a second. What badge do you think I went with? I went with the first one, the BronyCon 2012 badge. This is such a unique milestone in my life. It kind of all started here, basically. I remember when I first told my parents I was a brony and seeing the advertisement on Equestria Daily for BronyCon and joking with them like, hey, look, these guys even have a convention. Maybe we'll go there someday. And I said it as a complete joke at the time. So let's craft the Frankenstein badge. We've got the BronyCon badge. We've got the Nora Mermaid derpy lanyard. We've got the I Love Folex. We've got Muffin Gang. It feels so weird putting a badge ribbon on a badge this old. So yeah, 2012 was the year of derpy. And Derpy Gate, unfortunately, but yeah, Year of Derpy is in my book. And then finally, the pin I share with my sister. This was not on purpose. I swear I did not purposefully make this a derpy themed badge. I guess it's not, because we got Folex on one of them. I hope you enjoy my Frankenstein badge. Be sure to comment or email me if you have made your own. I mentioned email because you don't have to comment. I'm not trying to engagement bait here. I am just curious to hear your thoughts about what you think of my badges, what kind of badge collections you have I would love to hear about as well. And yeah, if you enjoyed this format and enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know, because I would love to do more of this top-down show and tell kind of format. Stay tuned to my social media, whatever's left of Twitter, or follow me on Mastodon. I'll make a post when I have a new video idea of this format. Solus over on Equestria Social said they don't have any questions or insight, but they just want to say it looks really cool, so thanks for the reply. Perp also replied to say that they made a video similar to this, where they actually addressed pony convention badges more from the perspective of somebody who helped design them and organize conventions, so that might be an alternate take you might want to go look at as well. Thank you so much for watching. I have to now begin the long task of putting all these things away, but hey, at least now I got a handy dandy spreadsheet, and stay tuned for the next one. I really enjoy this format, and I hope you do as well.